Does this also happen with teams that you work with, wherein there's a meeting, a group meeting, a department meeting, or some meeting, or a town hall meeting, wherein so the organization gives you a return goodie that has samosas, and then a tetra pack, and then there's also some sweet, and also maybe a ketchup packet like this that is shown, and it's coming in a box, and the box is given to people, and people essentially consume it, and there's very high employee engagement that is basically coming from that, because people apparently will come to the meeting because there's food and not really because the meeting is important for them. Yeah, coming back to the main point here is that if this is happening in your organization, there are many methods wherein you can change this. In terms of a sustainability angle, purely because we see that the Tetra Pak, or let's unpack this. There's a corrugated box that is coming, and I think for the general aspect of a gift, it could be that the items are individually available and people can just pick up whatever is needed for them and take it, rather than an entire dabba for it. So the dabba's timeline in terms of usage is just from when you give it to them and they eat it and they throw it, which could be around half an hour to 45 minutes. For just 45 minutes, you are just using a lot of paper, you're using a lot of transport, you're using a lot of packaging that comes into picture. So packaging could be completely eliminated if you have individual elements. Maybe usually it's a samosa, it's a sandwich, and a juice packet and a sweet. Usually that's the four that comes. So second is again the sauce packet, the sachet is not in any ways sustainable in terms of recycling. It's not recycling, not recyclable, and many a time people use half of it and then throw it into either the wet bin or the dry bin. So in both of these cases, it's a problem because both of the places it's a mixed waste coming in, and this essentially goes to the landfill, and it's impossible for any of the dry waste aggregators to actually take something into consideration in terms of the volume of this, because in a huge waste lot that comes, it's very difficult for them to catch this, open this, and remove the material that could decompose, and then maybe put that for recycling. It's a tedious process, and it doesn't really help. And again, the Tetra Pak apparently comes with married with a plastic straw, or sometimes it's a paper straw in a plastic packaging. And in the Tetra Pak itself, many of the times will not get into recycling because there's still elements of something left inside it. So this, in effect, is not sustainable. And also the bread or sandwich that comes wrapped in a plastic film, a laminate packaging. And all of these are adding to either a carbon emission problem or a plastic mitigation problem. All of these can be eliminated if these are individually placed, and the Tetra Pak is replaced by something else, and the sauce packet is also replaced by something that people can directly use. I know it is too much for corporates to think about it, but then if there are people who would like to change it in at least their teams, their departments, maybe when you give out a gift box, you would like to be more sustainable, and I hope that reaches you. And we can always make sustainable choices, give them fruits, give them uh, any other salads that people can essentially use and eat at the same place, or else consumables that do not leave behind a plastic footprint or a carbon footprint can be taken into consideration. And I think it's very, very important to say that, if your meeting is important and if your meeting is something that really brings people together, I, as somebody, can actually say that it is not really needed for me to get something in terms of food for me as an inspiration to come to this. If that's the culture, that if I give something, if I'm giving something as a goodie bag, only then people are coming. Maybe then it's time for you to look at your company culture, to look at how people are invested in different ways of them coming together. But I hope this video is informative, and maybe you take something out of it and become a little more sustainable. Until the next video, see you.